We tell boys to stop crying, man up, be strong. But then we wonder why they don't open up when they're a bit older. If you're a parent, or if you plan to be a parent, this one is for you. Welcome back to The Mailman, the brand focused on breaking the stigma around male body image issues and the mental health impact it can have on you. So today's video is really more focused on our kids, or future kids if you don't have any right now, but also just to kind of help you open your eyes to the dangers that potentially your children or future children may face. How to, maybe spot differences in their attitudes and the way they're behaving. Could there be a reason behind that? And just kind of tell you a little bit more from my own experiences, how I changed as a result of my own body image kind of insecurities and the mental health impact it did have on me. So yeah, hope this can resonate with parents across the world, with kids if you're a child watching this. I'm here to tell you it's not as bad as you think. So let's go. So my own issues, as some of you might know who've seen my earlier videos, they started at a really young age. I was called the regular names from bullies because I was fat, I was brown. It was just a standard kind of kiddie bully behaviour. But I don't think I really understood what that meant until I was older, or why they were doing it. But it did have an impact on me. Primary school was the first time that I really felt that I looked different to the other kids. And that started to play on my mind a little bit. I didn't really know anything about fitness or weight loss or exercise. But it was clear to me that I was bigger than other kids. I got a full range of names. And then in secondary school, that's when things really got interesting. It was a much bigger school. I was one of a small handful of coloured kids. And in my class, or my form, I was definitely the biggest. But I guess what made it worse was it was an all-boys school, and quite an old school at that. There was definitely a culture of man up, be strong, be a leader, play sport. And that's what I did. I played a lot of sport. I played cricket for the school, I played rugby for the school, I did athletics, discus, basically anything that I could leverage my size. But playing all these sports and being part of that team, that mentality and attitude of be strong, be a man, don't cry, was really enforced on you. And over years and years of this same environment, you almost develop this nature to never open up, to never talk about any of your problems. And that same thing happens today with plenty of schools, plenty of kids all around the world. That culture of trying to be open and be honest and talk about what's on your mind in schools, it just doesn't exist. I mean, it's been a while since I was in school, so maybe there is some element of that now. There's a bit more of a push for kids to open up. But honestly, I don't think there is. I think kids are suffering now more than ever. And there are many factors that are contributing to that, including social media. Anyway, I went through school thinking I have to look different to fit in. I definitely wasn't getting any girls because of the way I looked. I had friends. I'm fortunate to have had some really good friends, but I also did get bullied. I had this weird perception that if I looked a certain way, I'd not only fit in with the people that were the most popular, but I'd also excel in life. I'd be smarter, I'd end up getting better grades, going to a better uni, better career. But honestly, it made no difference. The only thing I can look back now and realise is I wasted a lot of time being bothered about what other people think of me, and potentially putting myself at risk, my health at risk, trialing different drugs, weight loss pills, yo-yoing on diets, just trying to lose weight. I even got this skin bleaching cream or a soap just to try and look lighter. Stupid, right? But these are the sort of things that I was pressurized to do. Yeah, and people may not have directly said, you need to look different in order to fit in. That's the indirect message that they were putting on me. The indirect message of what I was feeling or being made to feel. And going through school, years and years of this psychological impact, the physical impact it had on me, my mood just changed. And yes, there was an element of becoming a teenager, and most teenagers end up experiencing similar types of mood swings, and parents don't necessarily take too much notice of that kind of stuff. But for me, I was just unhappy because the primary root of all of this was I'm failing to look different. I'm failing at everything I'm trying, and I'm going to be the way I am for the rest of my life. And that had a real mental impact on me because I just wanted to look different. I became so insecure, so paranoid about what people were thinking of me. I became anxious, probably had depression that I didn't even realise. But I just became really closed off. You might have kids or no kids going through something similar, and you might think, oh, they're just teenagers, they'll snap out of it one day. And yeah, they might. They may not have any concerns or body image insecurities or anything like that, but you never know. Maybe they're being bullied. Maybe they're going through something that's not so clear and obvious to you. But you'll never find out unless you ask them and try and talk about it. But this is the issue, especially for males, we just feel uncomfortable talking about it, which is why this topic, this brand is so important to me, because I want to make it normal to talk about these things. Because once you start going down that dark train of thought, your mental health starts to decrease, your anxiety starts building, your confidence gets knocked, your self-worth just goes down the drain. It's really difficult to come back. Look at me, I'm 38 years old and I've suffered for pretty much most of my life. I still do today. I can't step out the door without having a second thought about what are people going to think when they look at me. And yeah, some days are better than others. Some days I think, I actually don't care. I don't care what I look like. And I wish I could be like that all the time, but too far gone to make that a permanent way of thinking. There's always going to be that seed in my head, and that could be the same for kids now. When they grow up, they're just not going to talk about it. They'll end up being in a similar boat to me. They'll grow up with the same insecurities as I did. They'll have mental health issues that impact other areas of their lives, just like it's doing for me. But we can stop this. You can stop this. I had a couple of years where I thought everything was going great because I basically stopped eating. All I ate was salad, like lettuce. I used to eat a ball of lettuce a day. I went on an insane crash diet and ended up losing 5 stone or something like that, to the point where I looked quite ill, but in my mind I was thin. I suddenly started getting attention from girls, and so to me it was like this was the answer. But the damage it did to my health, God knows. But that didn't last long. I went to uni just after that, and we know what happens at uni. You drink, you eat rubbish, and before you knew it, and before I knew it, the weight started coming back on, and I was almost back where I started. And since uni, I've tried various things. I've been up and down in weight. I've been obsessed with the gym. I used to go 6-7 times a week, sometimes even twice a day, just to get back to that shape, to that size, because I felt like if I looked like that again, I'd just feel better. And I've struggled. But on reflection, what I can tell you is how I looked in the grand scheme of things made zero difference to what I have now. But the one thing I wish I had sooner was confidence. If I had the confidence to just be happy in my own skin, I feel like I probably would be better off mentally. I'd be a bit more relaxed. I wouldn't be so anxious and serious all the time. I wouldn't be so bothered about how I look. I wouldn't be so obsessed with looking in mirrors. I wouldn't be so obsessed with how my skin is. I mean, acne was another chapter in my life, and I'll come on to that in the future, but that was horrendous. And I'm talking, I was on Roaccutane. I've done 6 or 7 different types of pills just to clear my skin, and it was bad. So that, on top of the weight and size concerns, I had a few tough years, I tell you. But the message here is how I looked had made no difference to where I am now. I just wish I realized this sooner, which is why I'm pushing this message out. I want to help as many people maybe going through a similar thing before it's too late, before you waste years and years trying something out that's just going to waste your time, waste your mental energy, and essentially put you in a worse off position for absolutely no reason. And if people are making you feel like you should look different for some bizarre reason, or if you're being bullied because of the way you look, you need to somehow stay strong and realize there is absolutely nothing wrong in how you look. If you want to make a change, if you want to hit the gym, work out, Do it for you, just you, not because you're being pressurized into doing it. Do it for you. Do it to feel better about yourself. Do it to get healthier, to live longer, to get stronger. Honestly, people that are telling you to look different or making you feel like you need to look different, they can honestly do one. These are the people or kids that are going to go through life bullying people, making fun of people, and they'll get nowhere. You do not have to look like them. We're all built different. Even the people telling you you should look different, they all look different. We're all built different, but everyone is still valid, no matter how you look. And if you're feeling just weird, or you're going through something at the moment that you just can't put your finger on, just try and find someone to talk to about it, honestly. You have to just somehow find that strength to talk about whatever you're feeling. It could be the smallest of things, or it could be something that's actually, you know what the issue is, but you just don't feel like you have that platform or ability to talk to someone. Message me, I'll talk to you about it. But if you're a parent and you've noticed changes with your children, don't think it's naff to talk about these things, especially if you're a dad and you're worried about your son, or you've noticed differences and changes of attitude with your son. Don't think it's naff. Don't think, well, this is not really a thing men talk about. I wish I did, honestly. And it should be a thing, but not just men talk about. Girls, everyone, like whoever. You need to talk about these things before it gets too late. If you've enjoyed this, you know what to do. I need you to subscribe. We need to spread this as much as we can. We need to make this a bigger brand, get more people involved, build this community up. Give me a like, comment, let me know if you've had any similar experiences with your own children or yourself. Have you had any experiences being able to talk to someone about this sort of stuff? Anything that's worked for you? Anything you'd recommend? Thanks for watching. Hope it helps. Hope you've learned something. And until next time, stay positive.